Do you have specific questions for EMS?
Oh, okay.
When we call 911 and the dispatcher calls the fire department or the EMS, does the fire department and the EMS know where to go without the cross street? You seem to say yes, but is that true?
I can't say without the cross street because both systems, both the police system and the EMS system is built in with cross streets no matter what. So even if you say you are absolutely between these two streets, we do an override on the system. And we simply say call estates between this location and this location. If you call us and tell us you are between the East River and I'll use the West River just as an argument, and you say that's where I am, we will convey that to the responding units that that's what the call states. But the computer system does identify it by cross streets. But the cross street is to give us an accurate idea about where we're responding to.
Cornell Tech, and they can change your whole tech problem there and put that in.
Well, with Cornell Tech, and it's going to be something a little bit different. If Cornell Tech and its system is built the way every other entity is built, when you say you're at Cornell Tech on Roosevelt Island, that'll immediately come up as a direct address. So that'll be pre-built. I'm sorry. That'll be pre-built into the system. For example, now I know you may think it's wrong, but well, for example, if you call in the city of New York and say that you are at the Empire State Building, you don't have to give us a street and a cross street. We have the address of the Empire State Building. Based on what they were doing tonight, this will be built in the future, and we'll move forward from there. To the best of our knowledge, yes. To the best of our knowledge, the answer is yes. Every street that the city has in the GIS system that has been mapped to Roosevelt Island exists in the system.
So again, to be clear, from the NYPD, EMS, and FDNY, they have now coded every single address on Roosevelt Island so that they should be able to respond without a cross street. And I want to thank everyone for working with us to make that happen.
Yes, it is in the system.
It has been tested. So
just realize we have to train our whole workforce.
Inspector, if you don't mind coming up. So I'm going to try to, so it's running a little bit late in the hour, and I would like to try to get folks. So if you've already asked a question, we're going to go to folks first. So there's a woman in the white shirt, there's a woman in the gray shirt, and back over to Sherry, and so then we'll circle back.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt. You're after. It's the white shirt, gray shirt, and then the cats.
There are a lot of areas on Roosevelt Island that aren't part of buildings, and you could have an accident down at Lighthouse Park or at FDR Freedom Park or in one of the playing fields. No one's going to know the address, particularly when it's down at Lighthouse Park or it's Firefighters Field where they have games. There is no address. So how is your system coping with the fact that if an accident where they need medical help happens at the Little League Field or Firefighters Field or the Lighthouse Park or someplace else where there's no address posted and there are no cross streets, what do we say to get help?
Exactly what you just said. Tell them the area you're in. We have what we would call common places. So if you said Lighthouse Field, what we'll do after, we have numerous common places for Roosevelt Avenue. Before I came to, Roosevelt Island. Before I came here, I looked at our common places. There's multiple locations in there. I'll just use Central Park as an example. It's very similar. There's tons of location in Central Park, the Great Lawn, the Harlem Mere, the Carousel. I'm very familiar with them because I work there. We put those all in the system. What I will do is we will get the names of all these common places from you tonight, and if anything is not already in the system, we just have to verify that it's there, and we'll do our best. It takes a little, we just can't change the system immediately, but I will do the best to address all of these common places, because we understand that Roosevelt Island is a very unique place, and it is difficult to get an address sometimes.
I'm just going to speak for myself, but I think I'm speaking for a lot of people here. I find this to be incredibly frustrating. I am hearing 12 different things. I'm thrilled you're here. I appreciate you coming. I know you will work hard. But this problem has existed for as long as the 911 system has existed on this island, which has been residential for 40 years. When I hear some of the things that have been said, well, we could try this, we could try that, the bottom line is we're still being asked the wrong questions. We are in the middle of New York City in the age of GPS. This should not be hard. This should not be hard. If you need money from politicians, a question you couldn't answer, you need to tell us that so that the politicians who are still here are left. We have to get that. Because if Cornell can automatically have it the minute they're here, why can't we have it? We are in the middle of New York City. This is GPS. We should be able to put 1044 in a police car and a fire truck, and the minute they see that, they don't need cross streets, they don't need anything else. They just know Roosevelt Island, we are the only ones with that zip code, 10044. We don't have to worry about the river, we don't have to worry about cross streets. We are a completely separate community. It's very frustrating. We're hearing 12 different things. This doesn't link up with this. We'll try this. We've looked into this. It's not coming together. I think most of the people here are not leaving here tonight feeling like this is solved. Yes.
I understand your frustration. It's a frustrating problem throughout the entire country. Many people feel that when they call 911, we can pinpoint their exact address. That's not the case, and it's not the case in call centers throughout the country. There's a thing called Next Generation 911. They're working to upgrade the system. That's a long process, but we are looking to always improve the way we can identify where individuals are. But like I said, right now the technology is not there. When you call 911, this isn't like CSI or some of these TV shows where we know exactly where you are off of a cell phone. So that's why at this point, I understand your frustration. And well, let me ask EMS. That we do. Well, would you like to answer? I don't want to.
No, I wanted to go back to the first statement that you said on that. And especially, I don't want to give Cornell Tech a bad name here. That's not what we're intending. What we're saying is when we know of a specific location, for example, tonight for this church, I didn't use the address for the church. I used the name of the church, and it's pre-mapped because we know it's an existing facility, and there may be many calls that are coming from this facility. What I was making the reference with Cornell Tech, we know it's a large facility that is being built. Well, we will map out the location of that facility, just like I used the example. I used the Empire State Building, the commissioner used Central Park. Things like that can be built into the system. It's time-consuming. It's a lot of manpower, but we are more than willing, as I said before, to learn as we move along how to map these things. Those do take place. Specific to everybody, keep coming back to the fact of the cross streets. You have to understand our frustration on our side. We need to confirm the address that you're giving us is where we believe you are. The zip code is just going to tell us you live on Roosevelt Island. The issue that you're saying to us, as long as you say to us you're on Roosevelt Island, we know where Roosevelt Island is. I have to speak I'm speaking for the fire department for EMS. When you give us the address, and there's the address I looked up before, you call and say, and I use that specific number, 777 Main Street on Roosevelt Island. It maps in the New York City Fire Department and EMS as Roosevelt Island. I don't understand the confusion of that. Why anybody would, excuse me, let me finish. Why anybody would think we don't know where you are. We do know where you are. We do have calls that do take place on the island, and we do respond to these calls.
No.
So These are our guests. Frank. So these are our guests. We welcome them here, and they work for us, and we're glad to have them here, but we want to treat our employees with respect. So just some clear things, and if we can avoid some of the raising of voices, because no one would want to be treated like that or treat others like that. So taking a moment, just join me. If you've been to one of my graduation speeches, we're just going to all just take a deep breath. Okay. So to be very clear, this has been a problem. Because of our REAC president, Susan Rosenthal, Jack McManus at Public Safety Department, the Mayor's Office, OEM, NYPD, FDNY, all the great people here who are doing training, everyone is focused on this problem and trying to do what they can. They are working with a large bureaucratic government, and they're steering a big ship. They have already entered every single address here on Roosevelt Island. I know that REAC has been working with them over the past couple of weeks since things were in the wire, and I've only been working with them for the past week or so, but they've gotten everyone's address in. It is frustrating and it is scary because you don't know what's going to happen when you call 911. You are here. You have made your voices heard. You have let them know what has happened. They are trying to let you know that they have entered in every address. In terms of the great point about, what about how do we pronounce it? What's the correct? Capo Bianco. I will, thank you. So that field, that's going to be entered in, and if you can share with us, I know that REAC already has this list, but if other folks have little nooks and crannies they want to make sure, because they know their child is going to be playing there, and if they get hurt there, we want to take care of it and make sure that we use the different names that we call every different place, and we can work together on it. We want 100% assurances on everything, and the other piece, which is a little bit frustrating, is they're trying to give you the answers to your question. So if you ask different questions, they're going to give different answers. So yes, it is frustrating that they still ask cross streets, even if you say it's Roosevelt Island. The key reason that I will just share with you, I'm a software developer, I design systems like we're talking about, is sometimes a person in an emergency is not going to have reliable information. So if we go across the bridge over to Queens, and they say they're on 75th Avenue and 72nd Street, they may never intersect. And if the operator gets that and the system triggers it, then they know that they need to ask the caller for additional information. So all of the systems that they've set up are around trying to take better care of people, which unfortunately has caused a problem in Roosevelt Island. But again, to be clear, if you live on Roosevelt Island, they have now coded your specific location so that they can find you. In terms of working with Public Safety Department, they have also shared that, at least with EMS and FDNY, they are reaching back out. They can't do it on a conference call, but it sounds like there is a good working relationship, and hopefully we can connect Public Safety Department and NYPD so that they can try to coordinate on the back end. So I know the Katz and Cherry Helstein have had their questions. I believe it's ladies first, so if you too, and please, everyone's been really great about asking specific questions, and thank you about that. And gentleman in the Captain America shirt, he's one of my favorite heroes, so after those two, you will be next. And thank you very much, and thank you to NYPD, FDNY, and EMS for answering all the questions and bearing with us. And then the young woman after Captain America.